Hello, how you doing? I hope you're well. Um, I hope everything's working on this weird. Oops, I always get one of those, so that's a good sign. Um, anyway, what can we do? Well, we can maintain our freedom. That's what we need to do. Is not necessarily um, fight for our freedom, but we need to maintain it. I consider myself a free man. I'm a free and sovereign human being. I can do pretty much everything I want to do. Um, yeah, it's a struggle, but it's maintenance. But maintenance, as anything gets chronologically uh, older, and you know, uh, including our humanity, um, it requires more maintenance. And health is wealth. I met with a wonderful person yesterday who is a healer, and she's a nutritionist, and yeah, I've known her for a long time, and I think that's key. Is health is wealth, but there's mental health, spiritual health, physical health, and emotional health. All of those things need to be kept in balance. Part of um, what we've been. I'm not very good with. I'm trying to be very careful with words because I get threatened with bans for lots of things. Anybody wants to chat and ask me questions, that's the easiest way. Okay, I'm going to write ask me questions in the chat, but I doubt very much um, because I don't schedule any of these little interactions. I don't. I don't expect people to come into the chat. Um, so back to maintenance. Yeah, I mean, I did this several years ago, but I'm going to do it again. Physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. Um, these need to be kept in balance within you. But I got it pointed out by a rather brilliant friend that I was forgetting the thing that humans have, which is, the opposable thumb. So that's a transmitter and receiver. So this stop clearly means stop. This is important. Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, transmit, receive information to keep you in good health. And health is wealth. I'm finding that just recently, and it's probably over the last 3 or 4 months, um, it keeps coming up, and it keeps coming up in my personal life with people I love, my daughters, my extended family, and my friends. The relevance of that health balance um, is key to our continued maintenance of our freedoms. Um, and it's kind of interesting to find that it's not the rejection necessarily of the world leaders who are not putting us in a very healthy situation through pharmaceuticals and the military industrial machine and the political machine and the divisions. And this is the thing that really bothers me is a lot of people don't correlate isolation and separation as a divide and rule concept. But when you divide and rule people, isolation is a key. You've got, and so this idea of putting two words together that are the opposite of each other, social isolation, it doesn't work. And this is the control system desperately trying to get us into a divide and rule situation. So, those that want to go out and follow the orders of our misinformed or nefarious leaders in industry, in science, in the medical profession. I mean, yes, but ultimately, and I'll always go back to this catchphrase: there is no authority but yourself. So what you put into your body is very important, because that's the fuel by which you interact as a human being, not a human doing. So be aware of maybe drinking more good water. Make sure you get good water, good, clean, clear water that's of your choosing. I choose alkaline water, but that's because I want to balance my body in that way. I'm not trying to give health advice. Excuse me. I'm not trying to give just health advice. What I'm trying to say is there are ways to peacefully stand in your sovereignty. I'm in charge of me, my freedoms. There are ways to peacefully do that, and I'm noticing a lot of people who would have been seen as moderate are actually joining in peaceful protests, because as the powers that be kind of restrict us, we want to expand, which is, understanding of our own health and well-being. So as the powers that be restrict us more, we need to expand more, and we need to do it in a peaceful, kind and caring way. So we have to stand up for the things that we took for granted, and control of our own health, wealth and happiness is essential to living freely as as a human being. So humanity. So a lot of these moderate people who've had a moderately good, successful career pursuing the middle path are actually now starting to be demonized and radicalized, because they don't even want the middle path to exist. And much like the class systems in the world, they don't want the middle class having a voice. So the middle way is being attacked, which I knew the extremists on the right, or what? No, let's not right and left it. I knew the extremists on one end were attacking the extremists on the other end, and that's been, a way of both sides, voicing their opinions and going along. The middle way was always left alone. Well, it's not being left alone. I mean, it's slowly but surely being eradicated by the people who consider themselves to be in power. And there are radical elements that want to take over the power. And I don't think there is a radical group that is free from attacks from either side. So the middle path Many years ago, I wrote The Middle Way, which was a song I really enjoyed, and I've done versions of it. But the point is not that I found the middle way, it's always been the middle way. You know, you don't, you, okay. The control of others is non essential, the control of self is essential. So, in that middle way, you can control any extremist thoughts that you may have about them or whatever. So there is a middle peaceful way. So these moderate newscasters, people in entertainment, the moderates are starting to go, wait a minute, we're aligning ourselves with the people, not the rules and regulations that are restricting us, because their freedom in the middle is threatened too. This is why you see, like the convoy in Canada, this is why you see this support for it, because the middle way is being attacked too. So I think that we have to do a little more than sit and wait for them to stop fighting. I think we have to, in the middle, make more of a womb, more of a stance. I can't post on this corporate platform my more radical views, even though they're centrist, because of the controls of one side. So, you know, I will post a link underneath this. I may even post it on this channel and just risk the but there's a moderate newscaster who had to leave California because he was marginalized for his views and his research, and he's a very strong and thorough researcher. And many have been pushed out of California because we don't have we have a definite pyramidic system here, be it through celebrity, be it through politics, be it through the entertainment business, be it through any other lens that you want to put this beautiful state of California. And it's a beautiful state. I love living here. But the control system has been enforcing its rules and regulations and taking the creativity out of the beauty that could be done here in California in this beautiful state. Been taking that away, and the radicals they've done this flip flop for years. You know, it's like, ooh, what needs to happen is the consolidation of people, and I'm not talking about a majority. I'm talking about just the people that are stuck between the two warring factors. Now, there was always collateral damage. War, you know, in a war, there's going to be collateral damage, right? And the middle would have some of that. But if one side can get rid of the middle or reduce the middle to a less vociferous and peaceful way of thriving, because it's not just about survival, because we're all human beings, we all die. It's just about thriving within this abundant earth, which I believe we are thriving. I believe there is, you know, we won't be defeated in the middle, but the attacks are getting worse from one side, and we must stop overreacting on the other side, and we must choose a peaceful way. Anyway, so I don't want to keep this too long. I will put a link underneath. Actually, I'll put it in the chat. Or I may even post, because I've downloaded a post by a normally very peaceful man who had to leave California because of his views, and that's an attack on free speech, which is part and parcel of being a human being. And because the platforms we were allowed to expand on are owned by corporate entities and answer to the financial restraints of the corporate control system, a lot of people have had to go elsewhere to make their living or continue to make a living. But even now, those that are still happily in the center, being peaceful, being loving, being kind, trying to advance mankind, are starting to say, well, we can't just let this continued war continue. So I'm going to post a link to a BitChute video, and I may actually even try and upload that video, because I don't think it's radical to protest. I don't think it's radical to protest when you're being attacked. I don't think that's a radical reaction to when you're being attacked to stand your ground. I don't think that's radical, but we need to stand our ground if this side is pushing us away and pushing our freedoms away, and then this side reacts to it, which actually fuels this side, so they end up, so peaceful and organized groups of us need to have ways in which we can protect what is already ours and maintain what is already ours. So, okay, I pontificated, and I'm glad I did, because I wasn't necessarily sure what I was going to say this morning. Good morning. I love you. It's just past Valentine's Day, which has a bittersweet meaning to me on a personal level. But we must go forward. Please look for links. If I post links under this or in the chat, and you live in California, actually, even if you don't live in California, but you support freedom, then please look at those links. And there are things we can do. We can do them. We're capable. We're going to thrive. We're going to keep humanity evolving forward. We can't support this control that's restricting our growth. Okay. Love and peace to all of you and everybody. I'm going to post a link first because it's in the chat. Let me see if it will work. It did. And then I'll post it in underneath in the comments too. I think I may have already posted it in the comments. Anyway, love and peace. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. And no more restrictions, more freedom. All right. Love you.